All right, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Really exciting to talk to you. And you've got a really interesting area that you focus on, this trial master file career path in the clinical trial industry. I wonder if you could start off first by telling us kind of what kind of niche is that, what kind of slice is that, and what types of people might thrive best in that arena?
Sure, Michael. So, a lot of people who land jobs in the TMF space, they usually kind of, I think, like all of us, just fall into it with no experience. Anytime you talk to somebody, generally speaking, in the clinical research industry, and you say, "Hey, how'd you get in?" Well, I fell into it. It's like we all did. But generally speaking, you have those transferable skills. So, a lot of times, it might be a medical assistant or a clinical research coordinator or maybe a pharmacy tech because pharmacy is really getting into the clinical research space right now. And when you're looking at those transferable skills and bringing it to the trial master file, these types of populations are very desirable.
Now, I know obviously you're very bullish on trial master file as a career or as a segment. What about it is so fulfilling, do you think? What are some of the great things you hear from people you've helped place?
It's one of those things that it's the foundation of every clinical trial. I find it rewarding that all the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the tears that go into that trial, we're
Literally
putting
sometimes, yeah. Right.
all of that documentation together in the TMF. And when you think about it, the first thing that somebody wants to see something, it's in the TMF, whether it be the sponsor, the FDA, any of your ClinOps people. To me, I love that. And we can say, yes, I have that documentation. I know where that is. That's rewarding to me.
Now, also, I know a lot of what your core work is. You work with people who are either maybe new to this industry or thinking of a career shift. But how do you help people? I know this is a big question, but how do you help people? Like, let's talk about confidence, for example. Someone who's a little either shy or thinks they aren't qualified or just or has a lack of confidence. How do you help people, enhance or boost their confidence?
You get that a lot because you hear people say, I've applied to 150 jobs, 300 jobs within the past month. And it's like,
It wears you
no,
down. Yeah.
you got to do this every day. Applying to jobs, if this is what you truly want to do, you need to apply every day. And when you get in that negative mindset, people feel that even when on your resume in those interviews your energy's down, and my job is to lift you up and bring you up and make you feel worthy and show off your skills and say, yes, I've got what you need. And when you look good, you feel good, and we want to get you there, and you want to get those feel good vibes of, this is a really great candidate. I want them on my team instead of someone who's sort of down and depressed and like, oh, I'm probably not going to get this one. Nobody wants that. And so we want that high energy. Don't forget to smile because that's like the best thing, even if you're on the phone or just a Zoom in person. A smile can really make or break you, it can take you a really long way. So that's how we bring the confidence.
So yeah, so if you can give me an idea, again, you just touched on it, but how do you help pump somebody up for an interview? I mean, I don't know, do you play the Bee Gees and get them all revved up, or what do you do?
So if they have an upcoming interview and say it's on Zoom or Microsoft Teams, I always say, put a picture near your webcam of something that's going to make you smile, whether
Hmm.
it's your family, your dog, your cat, a funny picture you find on the internet, and you put it right there. So it always reminds you
Hmm.
to make you smile. And that person interviewing you is going to feel the energy of your passion coming through when you're responding to those questions.
It's interesting what you say about smiling too, because I do radio work sometimes too, and when I first started doing it, my mentors and elders and betters would say, "Smile on the air. Nobody can see you, but they can feel it." It,
Yes,
it really elevates your voice and your energy. That's so interesting.
it does. And even just standing up. getting like the air in your diaphragm, walking around, because sometimes when you're doing those types of things, you're nervous. So maybe if you have a standing desk, that way it doesn't look so awkward, like if you're walking around during a Zoom interview. But you want to stand up, you want to smile, good posture, um, anything that's going to make you stand out.
Fantastic. All right, before I let you go, LinkedIn is so important. I mean, that you and I connected, I think, on LinkedIn originally. It is such a valuable tool. And I know that's an area where you help people enhance and optimize their LinkedIn presence. Can you give us just a tip or two or an idea or two for something, a way you might help somebody to improve their LinkedIn presence?
Sure. So we all know hiring managers, CEOs, recruiters, they're on LinkedIn. They're actively looking for people. And if you don't have a picture, it doesn't necessarily make you, you're not completely ruled out, but it helps to have, a good headshot, a nice banner. Are you really coming and showing and advertising your skill set and gearing it towards what you're looking for? So you want to highlight, bold, anything to get their attention. If you want to say, I'm looking for a job, reach out to them, network with them. Anything will help.
Fantastic thing. Well, this conversation has made me smile, so that's a good thing. Smiling is a good thing, and I can totally see how it elevates the energy. Thank you so much for the work you're doing out there. I know you're helping a lot of people to get into this field. It's not an easy field to get into. There's not very clear career paths and entry ways. You mentioned at the beginning, how if you talk to a room of 30 clinical trial professionals, you'll hear 27 different ways they got into the industry. Sometimes they were the receptionist, they were a messenger who got lost and replaced somebody who was sick that day, right?
That's just it. Don't rule it out. Even if you got to be the janitor at an academia, you're in. You're networking. You start talking to the coordinators, the PIs. You say, "Hey, I want in. I want to get into there. What do I need to do?" Just like you said, don't ever rule anything out. Nothing's beneath you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Great conversation.
Thank you, Michael, for having me. It's been lovely.